We are live with another episode. Today we have someone awesome on the podcast. Matt Attack. Sorry, Matt the Brain. Actually waiting for him now to join us over here so we can invite him to join. So no, awesome. So yeah, the whole podcast and this episode of the live is going to be about what it is like to be a YouTuber in South Africa. Matt's got his own YouTube channel called Matt Attack, and as I talk about him, he joins us. So let's quickly on Instagram. There we go. Cool. So yeah, Matt's joining us on this live. There we go. Uncle, how are you doing?
Not too bad in yourself.
Good, man. Well, welcome to the Pro Fun Ever podcast.
Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Definitely been on the bucket list to be on your podcast, so I really do appreciate it.
On the bucket list.
On the bucket list.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, I'm glad that we're on someone's bucket list at least. No, dude, but well, welcome to the podcast. And as I said to you, the whole thing is I want this series to be like what it's like to be a YouTuber in South Africa. I mean, Wouter, the black sheep, dude. I don't know, I'm not sure how to add him as a moderator now, but he's in the chat.
Okay.
To be a YouTuber in South Africa is like an immensely different a challenge in that. But I think before we start all that, let's start off. Elevator pitch. Who is Matt? Matt Attack.
It's pretty much just like a person that wants to show the world how much fun you can have on a bike, and like you don't really have to take everything you do so seriously. And I think just trying to find like the joys in the bit of the sports that we do. Just like showing off like South Africa and East London itself of all the different places that we have to ride. Definitely something, as well as like working together with other people that are committed to like that have a passion to make videos and like show how much they like enjoy their sport. I think that's pretty much what we're trying to getting across, as well as trying to teach people and bring them on very unwell trails, so much so that they get either cross or they will go home the next day.
No, for sure. Well, that's what you see in your videos. I mean, meaning the fun side of it. When I started watching your videos, I didn't even know what your face looked like. I just saw Matt Attack on YouTube and saw this guy hopping, like just commenting on everyone's riding, funny as hell. I would watch your videos, just like, okay, awesome. Firstly, awesome trails. Secondly, the commentary is like phenomenal, and then like it was really a cool channel, and it was different because so many other guys in the field, they take a camera, they film it, they add some shitty transitions to the thing, and then they expect millions of followers. And here's this guy like with his FPV footage, and I'm like, oh, this is pretty dope.
Yeah, it's definitely something. That's what we try to do.
No, that's the fun part of it. But like, I mean, you now are starting to diverge into the other platforms as well. I mean, the TikToks and everything like that you're doing. I mean, that when I saw that one of like, are you opening the beers or just getting the beers out, and you're the guys pulling up, bloop bloop bloop, and all of a sudden the guys are there, and they just like, yeah. I mean, that type of content you won't catch if you have this massive production or anything like that. You just need a GoPro and you can just go for it and document the journey.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's trying just pretty much like keep it as natural as possible. Try not like create like a fake persona of like drama or just causing nonsense, I guess. Just pretty much show people that like this is how much fun you can have, and it's worked out pretty well so far. Got quite nice opportunities with everything, and I think just pretty much take it from then on out and see where we go with it, which is quite nice.
Exactly. No, but that's now leading to the other question is like, okay, obviously you have the goal of to showcase all this and that in the podcast, in the vlog and stuff like that. But what is your personal like goals, like check marks that you want to achieve with your channel specifically?
I think definitely get like more sponsors. I think as a start, where I can actually do a lot of the ideas that I have and not worry about I'm gonna have like no money for the rest of the week and have to sell avos and stuff like that on the side of the street. So I think that's definitely like the start. And then, I don't know, I don't really think to go into racing as much. East London itself has it's very small, and the problem is there's a lot of like beef between a lot of people, like silly things. So someone will create something, and then all of a sudden this person doesn't like that person. So all of a sudden it'll just like close down
Yeah.
or fizzle out, and everyone's just pretty much like separated. The enduro side's a bit more. It's weird. Like if you host fun rides for enduro, there's like 200 people plus that normally attend the thing, and then if you host an enduro race, I think you get like 10 people. So it's such a weird, like, to try and balance the two together is a bit of a difficult situation. But I think if people like stop their nonsense and actually just like work together and just like, it'll probably get somewhere quite nice.
Yeah. No, I think well, we had a chat about it, like the whole scene about it, and getting, like, when you start mentioning getting sponsors and stuff like that, and actually being able to have an audience to sell to. And I mean, that's the perfect scenario, is having that community in your local community that you can actually promote those products and stuff with. I mean, you mentioned to me that you got a few sponsors to help with your Roof of Africa trip and stuff like that. I mean, that alone says to me that there is potential in people seeing the value in your community in that sense, or just you as a person in that sense.
Yeah, no, definitely. I also feel like a lot of the sponsors, they're more driven towards like an athlete, like a proper athlete, where they get results of like first, second, and third, and then they don't really look upon like a person that's posting videos for fun to sponsor them. Even though like that person might have a lot of like followers and a lot of traffic that they can get through the channel to the sponsors as well. I think it's just more of a mindset, but I think the initial part is getting the ball rolling. As soon as you get like one sponsor, then you like advertise them, and the other sponsors obviously see how well you do with advertising and putting them out there, and then it just obviously gets the ball rolling from there. So it's an art, I guess.
No, I think that's like an admirable way to do it, is just to be able to provide the value, because you get so many guys that are like off the bat, they start their channel and they're already expecting the sponsorships to just roll in, and companies like go for it and like be able to do that, and they don't. Me and Voted, just before this podcast, we had a long chat about like how long certain people have taken to develop their channels. I mean, I was talking about I don't know if you know the company called WTF1. They like make content regarding F1 and stuff like that. But this guy Matt and Tommy started this page and Twitter account and everything regarding, like, they posted like memes. They made Formula One fun. And they had this page since 2009, and so then eventually, like, they started this whole thing, and they've got this whole community, and then they started a new company called P1 with Matt and Tommy. And within 2 days, their YouTube channel is now over 150,000 subscribers. They on 400,000 views. But then we both me and Voted both like, wow, that's so insane. I mean, exactly what he's saying there. 12-year overnight success. Like, we were saying, like, yes, it's so cool. Like, they just like went live, and then boom, 100,000 subscribers. But it took them 12 years to build that overnight success that they achieved in that other thing, which is crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I think eventually, like, you have a break in your channel and like your progress and stuff, where something will happen where all of a sudden everything changes, and then you gain all the subscribers that you needed to stuff, and even yourself as well. I think in the past, I think 3 or 4 months or so, you've gained probably about like 400 subscribers or so. So it's I think it's just a little bit of luck, and then obviously determination and hard work and stuff, and then people can see, and then eventually I think something will happen.
Yeah, I think the main thing that, because again, like, me and Voter have this chat often, thanks for like linking his profile there at the bottom. So the chat we have often is like, what is the thing? Like, yes, we try and play to the algorithm, and we try and do this and this, and then we get so caught up in like trying to make content for the platform instead of like creating content that we actually enjoy. And I think that's one thing that you're saying true to. I mean, your content is, not that I'm saying it's in a bad way, but I mean, it's stayed consistent, or like the funny side of it is just, it's now actually growing. People are now actually seeing your face in your vlogs and stuff, which is good.
I'd like to be more like professional in terms of like the B-rolls and using a proper camera and stuff. But I also find whenever I bring out like a proper camera and stuff and try to record my friends, like everyone gets like very weirded out and awkward and stuff. So then you lose that like natural bit of personality going around. So I try
Yeah.
pretty much, that's what I do, all under the radar type zoom ins and stuff like that, just
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
try to keep it entertained and stuff. Um, but yeah, that's the thing. It's obviously I enjoy the content that I make, and then it's not too much of a hassle. I think it takes me probably about an hour and a half maybe to edit a whole vlog, and that's about it. I think later on, definitely, obviously, try use like better cameras and stuff, and just, I don't know, more professional in a sense, just a little bit.
Yeah. Adding, but I think also that comes with like as your channel grows and as your need for that grows, because like for the first time, like I was always the guy that was behind the camera filming someone else.
Yeah.
I was the guy that went to the track and like filmed and took photos and that. But now, like with my first race, like I couldn't even wear a GoPro because like you, I think you and Rickett from Mud and Dust, like FPV footage. We want to see you riding, like what? And that was the first thing. They're like, okay, cool. No, I had my chest cam on the start line. I'm like, okay, I've got my hydration pack here. Hopefully they won't see the camera. And then the one lady just went, okay, camera. I'm like, oh, damn it, like that. Like, but I think it's actually maybe a good thing because afterwards I might have gotten in shit for posting FPV footage of that, and I don't know. If I'm not a drama llama, so I would rather just avoid that whole thing than
I guess so.
be able to. Yeah, so yeah, my thing is so the thing is I had to get voted. Talk about the black sheep out, and he came and filmed the thing, and it was such a mind shift to be able to do that and be able to like so like he invoiced me. I still have to pay his invoice and all that for the stuff that he did. But I mean, that's the type of stuff that we see the value in. Is like if I want to take that step, now I need to be able to like actually make a little bit of money extra and be able to pay a guy like him because he is also there and he got amazing footage. I mean, I'm still posting reels of the stuff that he got from the GXCC. So the ROI is worth in that sense, but I don't feel I'm losing the personal touch because I physically can't record myself riding. Like even though if I want to, I can't do that. But it's to be able to elevate that little bit, and I think that's where. And Voter has this unique talent of capturing those funny moments and not making people too awkward in front of the camera. So I think it's a way of like making it a norm, kind of, and then be able to like, okay, cool, this is now the Mad Attack vlog and this is where we're going. And like I always say to you, like you've obviously watched the Casey Neistat's vlogs. So he's got in his vlog, and I don't see it as just normal people in his vlog, but he's got characters in his vlog. Like there's certain people. I mean, his UPS driver became a character in his vlog. Like people expecting to see Marvin, the guy, to come and deliver his UPS packages. So, that's the type of thing that I think the vlog needs to evolve as well, and that's how I see it. As I see, for instance, Taki is a character in my vlog. Like people want to see him. Like if they feature my vlog, like he's like the mentor type person in the vlogs that's always like helping with this and this and that, and like so the characters will kind of develop in the story. Maybe I'm seeing too much into it all, but I think then those guys kind of they expected to perform when the camera is out, and not that they're putting forth a persona, they're still the same person, but then you find these people that will add value to you. Because it is awkward going to the track and like pointing a camera to someone like, hey, say something funny. And like, everyone's like, oh, what the fuck?
Exactly. That's exactly the thing. But that's the thing, like, because most of my friends all have nicknames at this point. So it's pretty funny. Like if we go to local endurers and stuff, like random people will come up to them and be like, oh, are you the bird or you the neck or something like that. And it heals me. It makes me so happy. And that's pretty much what like I try and get across of like all the stuff that they do. That's how they are in real life. Like that's how we all pretty much are. We don't obviously put on a persona and stuff like that. And it's weird still when you get like random people coming up to you and saying like they enjoy your video and stuff, but at least it's like it's a positive reinsurance, definitely, of like that you're actually making like good content and people are enjoying like watching you and stuff.
No, yeah, I think that part I still also need to get used to. Is I remember the first time that I got a question like that, I thought they were mistaking me for someone else because we were documenting Logan and Philip's journey to Road to Roof. They were doing the EWXC, and this was
Yeah.
in the third or fourth round. I think it was the second last one. A little kid, like I think he's like 10 or 12. I don't know how old this kid is. And he came up to me and he's like, yo, I kyk oom se vlogs. And I'm like, what do you mean you're watching my vlogs? And I'm like, this fucking kid comes up to me like I was so dumbstruck. I'm like, no, I think you're talking about Rickard. And he's like, nee, oom se ne. I'm like, okay, cool, donkey.
Dude, it's so weird. Like, you never know what you do. You just like,
Yeah,
sick.
like, okay.
But
So, no, I think it was,
hey?
yeah. No. I said I think that's still something that you like slowly get used to, and I think that's why I'm kind of glad that nothing is an overnight success. Is
Yeah.
because imagine like being able to handle that. I remember like it's just a simple example, but like Ross Branch, we walked into a mall in Botswana, and so they announced on the announcing thing that he's now in the mall, and everyone should have a look out for him. I'm like, imagine like that type of presence where like you walk into someone and someone announces that hey, Matt Attack is in the Pick and Pay. He's coming
Oh,
to you walking there with your.
no, it's super weird. It's definitely something big to get like used to.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely something nice, rewarding, definitely.
Definitely. No, but well, that's a sign that like you are building your community and people are watching and paying interest in it and stuff like that. But now, specifically talking about being a YouTuber in South Africa, what do you think? What have you experienced from your side? Are the challenges that you faced with like creating content in South Africa and being a YouTuber in that sense?
I feel like to start a YouTube is pretty easy. Like anyone can obviously do it. I think the
Yeah.
problem comes in is like we said, like creating a persona, not creating a persona, but putting forth a persona as well as bringing in a target audience that obviously like wants to build a relationship to the person that you are. But it's I don't think I think majority of it is trying to find obviously that target audience in South Africa and trying to post the right videos and work with people. The problem was also like there's a couple of YouTubers here, and well, not really YouTubers anymore, but they've had a channel in East London, and they like have so much potential to get somewhere, but then they just fizzle out, and then it's hard by yourself because now you have to try and get yourself out there without any other help. Luckily, after meeting you and stuff, there's a bit of help, and as well as I think it's his name's Rob. I'm not too sure what his channel's name. Yeah, Rob as well.
Yeah, Adventure South Africa, yeah.
Yes, I met him, and then also there, it's just been like a channel which is quite nice. But I think, yeah, majority of the time is obviously making sure that you post in the right time, trying to find like all the tags that you need, trying to create the right thumbnail for your video, and then like it's annoying sometimes because you put in like quite a lot of effort into a video, and you're like, yo, this is a sick video. This is gonna get like okay, decent views or whatever it's gonna get, and then it gets fuck all. Then it's like 20 views, and you're just like, what the fuck? And then you do something that like, you don't really put that much effort in. Like you take like an hour to do whatever, and then it gets like 1,000. I'm like, oh my soul! Like it's a challenge to try and get right each time. But I mean, it's I think once you get on top of it, then I guess that's okay. I think it's a lot easier from then on out.
Yeah, the main thing that I'm thinking about, and again, like I've mentioned of Wouter the whole time because we talk often about this. Like we physically pick up the phone and then we're on a call about what YouTube and social media for an hour plus, easy, without even trying. And we talk about that. But the thing is to try and not look at the numbers. But it's so difficult because you see the numbers and the amount of likes and comments as kind of your reward towards people actually liking what you're producing and stuff like that. And I mean, yes, I'm saying don't like post and ghost and try and not worry too much about the views. But myself, like I catch myself often like opening up the YouTube app, like going to my channel, like how many views is this thing on? Like how many people has liked this and whatever, and then you're like, fucking hell. And then it's such a weird thing because you linking your happiness about the content that you're creating to an artificial number that's on
Yeah.
there. Like if that number says 5 and you posted it like 3 hours ago, you're going to be extremely unhappy. But if
Yeah.
it says 10,000, you're going to go and do a backflip off the fucking roof because like 10, but that number, and then obviously once you get to like, oh, like within a few minutes of you posting, you get 10,000 views. Then 10,000 is going to be the same as at 5.
Yeah.
So it's super difficult to be able to go like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, this is that or whatever. But the thing is it becomes, it's the only kind of way that we can not validate, but like measure our success in that sense, if I understand it correctly.
Yeah, I know. I mean, even like myself, I think at a point I was getting too caught up on like how many views and stuff I was getting that it was actually affecting my ability to want to go out and record things. I'd be like, what's really the point of me recording these things if not a lot of people are watching them? And then eventually I was like, well, let me just post and then do what I was doing before of making something I enjoy and then leave it at that and then see where it goes. So sometimes I catch myself like being a bit upset about the views that I get, but I mean, in the end, like it's gonna happen. That you can't like perfect views every single video. If you do, you're either paying for bots or something like that. But yeah, it's I think it's the whole thing is just an art, and eventually to try and get it right is the goal, I think.
No, because the weird thing, like my last video, I think it's over 1,000 views now already. But it's according to my other videos, it's one of the lower ranking views on the video. But with that specific video, I think so far it's like 28. Since I posted that video, it's like 28 new subscribers. Okay, that's not much and terms, but I mean for one video for that uptick, that's like quite a substantial amount to increase. After one video. So then I'm like, okay, I posted this video. A lot of people, not as many people saw it, but it's maybe the core audience that saw it, and that's why they actually subscribe. But I don't even think that I asked people to subscribe in that video. I can't remember. Because everyone tells you, no, you have to ask them. There needs to be a call to action. Tell the people to like and subscribe.
Yeah, I don't like doing that. It's so annoying.
So then, yeah, sometimes I forget, and at the end, at the start, I usually like thank everyone, like, hey, thanks for actually taking the time and watching my videos and paying attention on it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the more interactive you are with your audience, I think they will appreciate that, and then I don't know, feed off that, I guess. But no, it's weird. Like also, I think of that roof of Africa video that I posted, I didn't put much effort because I didn't get any onboard footage. I tried to get onboard footage, but with MSA being such a nigh, they don't allow obviously GoPros on board. But the worst was he was like, no, you can't have a GoPro on your helmet. You can have it, I think, on your chest or on your bike. So I was like, Pila, now I can actually record the whole thing. And then like I think it was like 2 hours before the race, like no like cameras, and I was like, this is so shit. So then I only had my girlfriend at the time. My girlfriend was recording everything with a camera. So I at least got some nice there whenever we left and came back in. And then I did try actually sneakily put my GoPro on my helmet and record. And I thought I was going to get into cuck for it because that video has, I think, 1,500 views or something. So I thought I was going to get into cuck from there, but they haven't said. Now, they're probably watching this thing and probably cut me out. Now,
they were really going report.
I'll fight them. And I'll say it's old footage.
No, that's good. No, but I think that's partly the challenge, and that's why I think it's nice to rely on that. But I think in South Africa we also have a lack of talent in that spectrum of people that understand the YouTube market. I mean, like I can't even think of people that are not on YouTube or they're not trying their own channel that are editors or videographers and stuff. And people that are, they either have full-time clients and that's what they do for a living, and they have nice red cameras, and they live all in Cape Town, and they're very fancy there with their kids and stuff, but they won't even consider putting up something on YouTube because that's beneath them. So we don't have that same culture in America as like, oh, I'm a filmer for the Deegans. I mean, that guy's got a full-time job. He's a filmer and editor for the Deegans, and I mean that's something to strive to. But in South Africa, we don't have that.
No, definitely not. I think there's not much. The racing industry, like here in South Africa, is is not, I think it's very like separated. I think like there's quite a big following of and like organizing of races like Western Cape area. Anywhere from PE upwards is good. Anywhere down, so like towards East London where we are, cuck. Absolutely cuck. From the roads to the people, everything is cuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's like again also said with everyone having beef with one another. Like we have 2 motocross tracks here, and they want to work together. Like one of the people, I'm not going to obviously mention names, but one of the person wants to work with the other guy and like bring it together and host races and stuff so that we can host nationals. And it started getting somewhere, but there's one person in the group that has an issue with this person, so then it just fizzles out and then doesn't go anywhere else. And then people obviously get separated and one person backs another person, and then there's this drama in the end, and no one really has anything to say and like call people out for it. So hopefully like they're listening to this video and they stop their nonsense.
No, dude, yeah, but I think that's the biggest thing, and I saw that's how industries kind of crash. Is I call it like people all trying to see whose dick is bigger in the scenario instead of trying to create something that lasts. I mean, there's examples all over the world of like racing seasons like this, or people that are fighting over tracks and who's going to maintain it and who's going to do this, and then it all just fizzles out and dies down. And then the end of the start goal was, oh, we want to create the sport and we want to make the sport bigger, but then the actual intention was to line their pockets, and because they saw some other track making money and they were like, cool, I can host this event and grab a few bucks and then take my wife for a nice holiday, and they, instead of actually making the but I also see the exact opposite of that. Like I don't know Shane and them at Weathered and stuff, but it looks like they're putting a hell of a lot of effort in that track, and they're trying to make racing seasons there, and you can apply for your license and go and race there. I've told them many a times, dude, I want to come and race that track because that track is always mint. I think that's like, without even having ever been there, just the social content of it makes me want to go right there. And I mean, that means he's doing something right, like posting when the track is prime and mint and stuff like that. And I've never been there, but I've want to ride there so badly. Since I've like even before I could properly even get onto a bike, I was like, I want to go ride it. Whether that's such a sick track.
Oh, we're still organizing that though. You must definitely still come down, or either I come up there, or whatever. And we're quite nice to shoot videos and stuff together. I think you and I, like the personality wise, is kind of the same. So it would be something quite entertaining, I guess. But yeah, Shane.
Yeah. Well, No, you were saying Shane?
So Shane puts in a lot of effort in his tracks. I think so. He tries to pretty much prep it like once a week, or pretty much the day before everyone's going to come out on the weekend. And the nice thing about the track is all the jumps are pretty much safe. Like you can case. I know this firsthand because I've cased pretty much every single one of those bloody things, and I haven't died. I've come close to dying, but I haven't died. Yeah. So he makes it like quite safe. So if you're a beginner and you oversend it or you undersend it and stuff, you're still going to be okay. Yeah. Which is, I think, probably the best attack whenever you like hosting an open track for new beginners and stuff like that as well.
Sure. That's partly of why. So my inexperience in that whole sense is at Legends MX that we have here. Like I said, the guys, yes, like I just want to go and just like hit this jump, and then the pro guys are like, dude, that jump is poppy. Like, no, don't just hit that jump. Like, you will fucking go to Jesus. So like everyone is like, okay. So then, like, that's now my inexperience, and actually having a track builder like Shane that knows preemptively that like a guy like me is going to show up on a 450, not knowing what I'm going to do, is going to brap and then hit it, and then be sent to Jesus on that jump. So that's, I think that's the contradiction of actually having a good not that I'm saying Legends guys are not good track builders. I mean, that's my favorite place to go and ride. If the back MX track, I feel like I'm in Glen Helen with the elevation on that side. I'm like, wow, okay, this is such a cool track to go and ride at, and they've got the outright section and a little bit of an enduro section and everything there, and it's a bummer that we can't go ride there now with the nationals coming up, because if I show up there with the Pepsin bike, they're gonna give everyone loads of cock, because then the team is riding on the track that they're busy going to race at. So, yeah.
But I've seen that track proper. It's sand though as well. I think the enduro or everything that side's mostly like sand. That's also the
Yeah.
difference in like terrain and stuff. I think we have a lot more beds and like rocky hill climbs and stuff like that, whereas you
Yeah.
guys have a more open like land as well as a lot of sand and stuff, and riverbeds, but not as, I think, wet as ours normally get. Ours are constantly wet.
No, our GXCC racing over here is what they call like Millifield racing. It's like a little tough section here, go through some more river crossing, and then it's flat out plotwood pit all the way.
But that's fun. That must be lots of fun. See, we don't have that in East London. We maybe in like if you go towards maybe like 20 k's to like Grahamstown area, I think they have like a lot more open like farms there, but no one hosts any like races or anything that side. There's a fun ride maybe every now and then, but it's not like an open like fan track. It's more of an enduro anyway. So I think it would be quite nice to like host that as well over here, or get that type of like terrain and stuff. I think people would definitely enjoy it, and 110% people would die.
No, but I think now talking about maintaining the tracks and actually organizing an event like that, no one knows what it actually costs to be able to maintain a track. I mean, I was talking like Wouter mentioned now about the facilities at Legends. I mean, that's one of the only tracks that I feel okay with taking my girlfriend there, so she doesn't have to like properly like shit in a hole to be like bathroom facilities. I mean, there's showers there. Myself and Taki have trained there where we spend hours on the bike riding, whatever. You go take a shower, you put on your running clothes, and then you go for a run. You come back and there's a proper like a warm hot water shower and everything there. There's like a restaurant and stuff like that. I mean, those facilities don't exist, and that's not cheap. To maintain that costs a hell of a lot of money, and there's no ways in hell that they're making the money from entry fees to cover the expenses of the track. So like to get guys like Shane and them to actually invest their own capital in there and be able to like ride there, it's very few people that are willing to actually make it facilitate the event, because there's I feel most of the other tracks are like, oh, but it's only guys coming here and that's how it is, and like if you want to go take a pee, then go for it there at the bush, and if you do this, and then there's no growth in that. I mean, a mom is, it's not going to take a young kid to come to a track and whatever and be able to like feel comfortable taking it like to most of the MX tracks in South Africa, because it is unsafe and this and that, and there's always rumors and stuff. So, and yeah, it's a bad side of it, but luckily there are people like Shane and Legends and those people, and I mean I think Terra as well. I'm not giving Terra a lot of crap about that, but they're also very good facility pricey, but that's what it costs to maintain a track like that. I mean it's no easy game to be able to keep a facility at that level for the year, for the whole season.
Oh no, 100%. Yeah, and then they also obviously have to like take in consideration of like theft and stuff. Like the local tractors down the road from they probably about 400 meters from a location that's just popped up, and it's quite big.
Yeah.
A lot of the facilities and stuff have been damaged or stolen and stuff, so people just obviously don't have the funds to fix them, so they just deteriorate, and then it's an ongoing thing, and then people obviously complain about this, but then they try to fix it, and then it just gets either broken or stolen. So it also has a lot to do with like location, or I think also, I mean, you could probably make like precautions of security and stuff to make sure that your stuff is like stays fine, like shoot to kill first if you ever tries to steal like a toy or something. But yeah, like you said, it's definitely like, I don't know how these track guys do it, like to keep a track going for the whole year if they don't get the proper support. It's definitely something.
Exactly. Yeah. No, but I think I'm being the optimist in this scenario. It looks, or it might be because I'm more involved in the sport than that now. But I mean, even like the numbers at the GXCC, they're not as good as they were. Like COVID gave everyone a dip, and it's not cheap to race. And I mean, for the first round, to have that many guys at the lining up at the GXCC, having full gates. No, I think there was one ladies' gate or one quad gate. I think they had one guy on it. But there was now like an odd class that there's nobody racing in there or anything. So there's just one guy. I think it was the adventure class that had one rider in it. But still, it's a new class that they started. In COVID, everything came on. It's the first round. Everyone's still recovering from December holidays, and now there's like full on racing in there. So it was so good to see so many people ready to race at the GXCC. So I think personally, if since I've started getting involved in the sport all the way to now, there's been ups and downs, but the trajectory is looking to go up in that sense, which is good. I mean, yeah, I think it's really growing in the right direction. I mean, there's more and more YouTubers now about the whole thing as well. I mean, we've got them all over. We've got what's his name, Brett in Cape Town. We've got you in East London, and then we've got like myself and Wouter up here. And I mean, so many of the pros are also. I mean, the Malimis, they're getting vlogs out, and I know like Wouter is helping some of the other guys on the MX side to also make content. And I mean, it's not just a thing of you used to like wait for some entity to film a race and put it up, or like the big guns in the sport, KTM and Husky, they had a video. I think in South Africa it wasn't even Husky, it was just KTM that had their channel, and they put up a highlight video of their guys, and that's the only stuff we saw. Now we at least getting so many perspectives, and there's so many channels popping up, which is awesome. I think it's awesome. It puts more eyes on the sport. Even if it's this guy and his mom and his brother watching it, it's 3 more people that can watch the sport, and which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I know Tristan Purdon as well. I mean, he races for KTM. Like he goes whenever he goes overseas. He doesn't vlog as much anymore, which I'd understand though, because to try and keep up like a whole training and riding and stuff, it's quite difficult to try balance all of that. But he at least like posts whenever he does, and it's quite nice to see like the behind the scenes of whenever he is racing.
Yeah.
No, it's nice to see like an uprunning of like YouTubers every now and then. There's a couple here in East London as well, but the thing is, like, it's weird. Like, I try and work with them. I don't know if it's maybe they just don't like me or something, but I try and see if I can like bring them along and we like record something and then just pretty much work with each other. And like, no one's really keen. They either don't reply to me or they just don't say anything. Like, sick.
Yeah, lack of it.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I think that's now why I wanted to start this like specific conversation on the podcast and stuff, and get the like, not that I'm gonna now all of a sudden your channel's gonna go viral because you were on the Pro Fun of a podcast or anything like that, but just to have that, facilitate that conversation. We interact. I mean, if you anytime you're up here, man, flipping out, you can come and crash at my place if you want to come and race here. I mean, to help make that cost, and if I can give you a little bit of advice on a video, or you can say, hey dude, maybe cut that part out or something like that, or just be able to discuss that and grow our community within each other. I mean, there's so much. I always say, like, people have a fathom mentality when it comes to that. They think there's only one person that's going to be famous in YouTube, and then if someone else is famous, then it's taking something away from them, instead of seeing that as like, flip, if I get featured on Matt's video, like all his viewers can come to my channel and I can feature him on mine, and maybe 1 or 2 of my subscribers can go and subscribe to him, and then if he grows, his channel grows, that means the sport's growing and everything is growing. I always use this quote of saying, my aim is to grow the pie and not my slice of the pie, because if the pie gets bigger, then obviously my slice will get bigger at the end. But the thing is just to make sure that our sport grows, because other countries have perfected it. I mean, the sport, if you like, I've a few mates of mine in Oz, and their scene is thriving. I mean, here in our motocross, we have out of Africa Yamaha with their proper rig and their whole gazebo, and they've got everything laid out, and then everyone else is a few gazebos racing. In Oz, if you show up to the motocross nationals, everyone has got a rig. Everyone has got a truck standing there. There's like a massive thing. So why can't our sport be there if they can get it right? Like Aussies and South Africans, we're kind of similar in that sense. Like, if they can get it done, then we can get it done. We just have to, I think, all of us to just, like, this is now selling the whole Rainbow Nation thing, but like being able to just stand together and be able to build the sport. Because even if I don't see it in my, but maybe let's say my son can one day race, and we show up to Legends and there's fucking 5-6 trucks standing there with the rigs, and I'm like, okay, cool. We did something in that regard. But so many people are so narrow-sighted that they want that truck now. And why is that truck not there for them? They don't give a shit about the future of that sort. And that's the sad part of what I think. I can't have that mentality, because there's so little of us here, so why not just make it fun for us and be able to grow it in that sense?
Yeah, no, definitely. I think to try and get that across is going to take a very long time, but there are definitely people that are like willing to like work together and stuff and build it. And like even when I was at King of the Whip, like I greeted people that are like I see them as fucking like idols and shit like that. And like when they spoke to me, it was quite nice that even though they have such a high like standing in their sport where they are, they still feel humbled enough to be able to interact and stuff with you, which is quite nice. I think I think there's like a slow process going on of like people noticing and trying to improve everything. It's probably going to take a hell of a long time before it comes to East London, but at least it's getting somewhere.
At least there's planes going out of East London to here or Cape Town, so you guys can join us here.
Majority of it's going away. None of them are coming in.
No, but dude, I really want to come down there. I think it's again, it's like the first time I went down to George, I went there. I'm like, there's so much opportunity to go ride here. All I want to do is I want to take my bike and ride up and down Montague Pass. That is such a flippin' cool place there. I just want to go fucking send it off there. And even if I die crashing off it, I would be happy, because there was such a. So we did a photo shoot there for Subaru, driving up there. And I'm like, all I want to do is have a guy with the bike send it down this hill and a drone following him down all the way and getting some FPV shots of that. I mean, like, that's exactly where my mind goes. And I'm like, this place has been here forever and no one's done this. Like, let's just, Rudolph, get your gas guys. Let's come and ride here. Let's just do something here. Someone stands at the bottom, blocks the road. Someone at the top blocks the road, and some guy just fucking on a 2-stroke sending it down that hill.
I mean, the police aren't going to catch you anyway, so they're so bloody useless. So you'll be alright anyway.
Yeah. Oh, no, but I think that's now, I think, the kind of the responsibility that I've taken. I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna just push these guys and tell them, like, hey, we've got an opportunity here to get something done. And that's fine. Like I said to you as well. Like the first time I saw you, I'm like, hey, go and subscribe to this guy, because there's something here at the end of the tunnel that's gonna be awesome, and you guys want to be part of it, which is pretty cool.
No, definitely. I think if we like everyone continue to work together, that's willing to work together, we can definitely build something quite nice in the end, and just help each other. I mean, in the space of like 3 months or so, you've helped me so much with my channel. Then, because the thing is, I don't have anyone else to really that has like a high sub count or knows what really that they're doing. Not that I'm like really looking, but in terms of like YouTube. So I've just been pretty much like Googling myself or trying to ask people, and then just being like shut down. And I think, who was it the one time? I think I asked, I don't know if you watch Midwest MX. I asked one of his friends. I was like, dude, like, how do you get these views and stuff like that? And his response was just, look at your algorithm. That was all. I was like, we're like, okay.
Yeah.
It's not. You need to try to find the right people to, like, I guess, like push you and get somewhere.
So like I also said to people, is like, I kind of obsessed about like watching the Degans, for instance. Like, they have a super successful, and yes, they are Degans and there's legacy involved there and whatever. But what are they doing right? Is they uploading video after video after video. Like, every day I go on YouTube and I open my homepage, there's a flippin' new Degan video out there. And obviously it's because I watch them a lot and I watch their stuff. But there's a key to consistency. Like, I mean, their videos are now slowly getting there. And they did that from the start, where the first video probably also got 1,000 views. And then we're like, fucking hell, okay, cool. There's 5 videos, 5,000 views, boom, we're happy. And then build on there. Yeah. And luckily, like, I'm not saying it's because of Degan's money and stuff like that, but they had the opportunity to pay a filmer and pay an editor. Yeah. The only cock thing is now is, if I want that consistency, it's me that's going to have to film and edit and find something cool to speak about. But I mean, like, this weekend, I didn't go ride this weekend, but I thought, you know what would be a video? Let's try and see if I can make talking head videos and speak about what I've learned on the Slow to Pro journey so far. Talk about like bike setup and nutrition and fucking stuff like that, and just make a 2-minute video and put it out. Have a video live this week. Not rely on, I didn't go ride, so my video's not going to be up. And looking for opportunities to create content and be able to be consistent on there. Because if you, like, I use the simple example of saying, like, if you're watching SABC at 7 o'clock, it's 7 long. Come hell or high water, there's a show on there. And I mean, doesn't matter what goes on, like that show is going to be on that time. So that's why I think channels grow. Is like if you watch Tommy Searle's videos, he's got a thing, he promotes it on his channels. Monday, I think it's 6 o'clock. I don't even know because our time zones are not, well, he doesn't upload it at the normal time zone or whatever the case might be. But I know Monday, if I open my YouTube at night, well, after there's work or whatever, there's a Tommy Searle video live Monday, every Monday. There's a video out. Doesn't matter if it's him and his kid going to some track or him racing arena cross, there's a video. And I think that's the key that everyone's missing because he's also not got a high production setup or whatever. Yes, he's got Eddie that edits his videos or that edits that for him. But I mean, there's sometimes that he has a camera and he vlogs by himself. There's a little bit of riding footage and it's in. I mean, yes, he's Tommy Searle and that helps with the views and subscribers. But I mean, there's nothing special about his video. Then, I mean, a Mad Attack video. Mad Attack's also like, hey, it's Monday, there's a Mad video on Monday, or hey, there's this video on that day. And then that consistency for months in advance, like that, I think that will create whatever you need from that side.
No, definitely. I also think like Tommy Searle and them, sorry, I'm just putting you on charge. 10 minutes.
Huh?
I think also like Tommy Searle and them have Billy Bolt. And when they film and stuff together, it's quite entertaining because they just pretty much act themselves, and it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's just who they are.
So that's pretty much what I like of like to watch is just people raving on each other, and even though you can see that it's like it's an honest relationship and a friendship and stuff, they're not doing it because like they actually hate each other. They're just doing it because that's what friends are. So yeah, it's quite nice. Also like Billy Bolt posting about like his daily life as well. It's quite nice to see obviously whenever he's not racing and when he's training or if he's going fucking around on like his girlfriend's dad's bike and stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. But I think those things are key because, like, do you listen to their podcast? That two pro, one slow podcast, where like Billy and Ed sits there, like they can't wait for tomorrow's episode because they can wind up Tommy a little bit and give him some little stick and that. I'm like, I like, please post the video. The podcast. I just want to watch. I just want to hear them rant and talk shit about each other and stuff. It's so funny. But again, I think that's to the point is. And Jace from Gypsy Tales told me that it's like, be careful of putting out a persona because you can't always keep that persona going. Like you can't like talk like one way when everyone is there, but then as soon as the camera's on, then this new guy comes up, and then but that guy can't stay relevant for the whole hour, and that's why they just who they are. Like that's Billy. If you meet him in real life, well, I haven't met him yet, but if you see him, that's how he's going to be. And if he's in the podcast like that, in his videos like that, and I think that helps with the relatability as well.
Yeah, I think also because Matthew Green, he is obviously from South Africa, and he posts like a vlog every now and then, and I met him at Roof, and he's exactly the same person. He probably was a bit like. He wasn't as talkative and stuff as I thought he was going to be, mainly because I probably looked like a dirty cabana boy. But at least you can see that they keep like the same like persona. They're not like acting and stuff like that, which is quite nice to see. And even just to meet them is something else, which is quite nice.
Yeah, the thing I remember, I met him before I knew he was Matt Green at the I think it's 2 years back's Roof, and like. On the after party, he snuck behind, got on a bike, did a burnout on the stage there, and I'm like, yes, these guys said it. And then you see them in real and see them in the video. I'm like, that's exactly who he is. Yeah, he gets like he's like that on the bike when he's partying, whatever. He just does. He's a full same type of guy. But then you get other people. I remember like Wade Young as well. I did a video interview with him for Red Bull, and he was so shy in front of the cameras or whatever. But then as soon as he gets race mode on, you can see it's like race mode focus. He's there to race.
Yeah.
That's his job. So that's his job that he needs to be focused on.
Yeah.
But afterwards, at the after party, he was so chill, dancing, having a good time, just being a normal guy again. So I get that the race face persona of like, okay, now I take it serious, because if I mess up here, like he's expected to win, and there's a certain expectancy on him, and I mean that weighs on you.
Yeah.
But I think that's the only time you kind of have an excuse of having a persona, if I could say it like that.
No, definitely. I think also, like, a lot of people don't realize that or think that, then if they try and create like Matthew, and they're a bit off to them, is because they're in their like mindset of like they need to focus and need to race. They don't have like that time for any distractions, and then a lot of people take that in as, oh, they don't like me, or they like a dick or whatever else like that. But it's not. It's just because they like in their moment of like, they actually need to do their job rather than socialize.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's the same. If you show up to, well, I work from home now, but if you show up to my work and like if you show up to an office in Sandton and you go and talk to those guys are also going to be like off you. But if you meet him afterwards when he's knocked off and he's on his way home and he's chilled and whatever, then he's a different type of guy. So that guy's the same thing. He's just got the unique job of riding a dirt bike for a living, and like the thing is, like, if you mess up at your 9 to 5, that's okay. Like you're not that easily replaceable. If he messes up or he loses focus or something goes wrong and he gets an injury, tomorrow he doesn't have a bike to ride anymore, and that's massive. So I get why these guys are focused and stuff, but even like beyond that, you still get a guy that's still friendly and still approachable and like still gives you time of day, because he's at the end of the day, they're still also just like normal people, if I can say it like that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think also, like, I find when people watch you or watch any of your videos, like you said the other day when a kid came up to you and saying that you like your video, they build such a relationship with you that they know so much of you. And as soon as you meet them in real life, you don't know who the hell they are. So, and if you're not used to it, then it's obviously a bit of a like, do I forget your name? What's going on?
Yeah.
I think that's also like quite something that you have to get around. And yeah, I think just obviously time, then more people. I'm going to just get people to come up to you just before you race and be like, oh, bro, can I sign my autograph? I'm going to come up there with my pants down and ask you to sign my butt as well.
Dude, I had such a, it was so fun in the GXCC. I was talking about that. I mean, the guys from Polysports, they were in their pits. Like, so every time I drove by, they're like, yeah, go get them, whatever. I remember laughing so much at the one section. It was like one of these flat out sections. You come flat out down a fence line, and then at the 180 turn back to the other side. But there was this group of people standing there, and you like, if you like traveling at a speed, you don't see them, but you see them, like you see them a little blur. I just saw this guy shirtless, like holding his shirt, like winding it like this, and like, yeah, God, I fucking laughed. So I lost my concentration. I almost missed my braking. I just back wheel squeaking, skiing there past. And because I was laughing at this guy, like fucking winding his shirt, like he had an orange shirt as well, like, so it was like very, very, because you're riding, you focus like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, he's fucking go with his shirt. I'm like, does this guy even know who I am? I'm not riding with the front riders or anything like that. And like, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, that was such a cool moment. But I laughed so much. It was pretty insane. Because then thereafter, I'm like, now I have to give these guys a show, because you can go down past them and you come around the fence again past them. I'm just like that extra little bit of throttle. I'm like, how far can this thing bend?
Oh no, it's like that. Oh shit. I think also
that's funny.
As well, I was busy on a racing, not really racing, it was really called racing when I was at the motocross track doing one of the weathered race series. I think one of my who watches my video as well, like as I come around the corner, it's like quite a gnarly step up, and if you mess it up, like you're gonna feel it. And I think I was coming around the corner and he legit had like his pants down, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like I was so like all focused that I cased the crumbs out of the jump, and then I was just like, nah, I can't anymore, and I pulled off.
Yes, that's funny, dude. Yeah, that's so funny. No, but I think that's the fun part of just being and not like not being taking yourself too serious in that regard, because at the end of the day, we just, well, myself, and I'm just trying to ride a dirt bike as fast as I possibly can, and try and make something of this. And I'm not claiming, well, I give everyone shit in the pits. Like, I've told like some of the top guys that I know ride circles around me. I'm like, if you hear a 4-stroke behind you revving, it's me. Move so I can pass you. And then I'm like these guys are like, oh, just joking or whatever. But I'm like, yeah, there's gonna be a day that I'm gonna flip and beat you. We'll just watch it. But I'm just giving them stick, and they know it. It's all just for fun and games. I'm not serious. Like, I'm pro rider. I'm gonna come and beat you. I'm like, I know these guys have got years of experience on me, and so, but it's just all fun and games, and creating that fun side of the thing. I mean, that's why I think the Pepsin team was such a perfect fit for me to like form part of, is because Ian is so, like, he's like, as long as everyone's having fun and everyone's going good, like, then that's like it. It's awesome to win. It's like no one that races likes to lose. But I mean, at the end of the day, he wants everyone to come home safe. He wants everyone to have a lucky jaw. Like, I mean, he came up to me and like, well done. You completed 3 laps. That's flipping awesome. Your first race, this and this. So it's, and then it goes back to the banter again. Then like everyone gives you shit about crashing on the start line, and then I'm like, okay, cool. That's good. That's what you deserve. At my class, yeah, because I got the whole shot, and then as I get, it's like, dude, this is now my inexperience talking. I'm like riding, and then I look to my side. I'm like, there's no one next to me, and I'm okay. I'm the last guy on the inside, so I'm looking like there's no one here. I see a guy, I see a wheel here in the back, and as I look up, I see the front of the like the corner to go back in the thing, and I just grab front brake, wash the front end, bah. Crash down there. Guy crashes in the back behind me. Lucky as well, the guy that crashed into me, he was wheeling off the start, and luckily I don't know if he saw me or whatever, but like his front wheel came down and he just like nicked my back. I've got a little scratch here, like a little roasty on my back. But if he kept on wheeling, I would have smashed his bash plate, and that would have been a lot worse than I thought. But yeah, it was like. So much fun, like so much like angst, like I'm in front. What the fuck do I do here? Like,
no, it's true. Like I think a couple of times I've a whole shot by mistake, and I'm like, this is not my place. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. And then I start panicking because my one friend David, he also obviously races, and I know that whenever he's behind me, he just wants to fuck around with me, and he knows that I overthink a lot when I'm on the motocross track, so he tries his utmost hardest to either take me out or just make me panic so much that I fall over. But it's nice as well. Like with the amount of banter and stuff that goes on the track is quite like a.
At that point in time, that's when I realized, like, okay, I'm not saying that any pro rider is shit or anything, but like I feel so bad for like a guy like Chase Sexton. Like it's again this weekend, like riding his heart out in front, and then just makes a mistake, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly what I experienced. Like not at that level, but like I was in front in a OR3 Pro-Am race, and I couldn't hold it together. He's there in front of the whole world, millions of people watching him. After every weekend, everyone calling him a dickhead because he again lost it, and he again made a mistake and whatever, and then he's still there going at it and trying to beat him. And I mean, that stress of being in front, I think it's also something that you need to work towards, because I'm riding in the back. I'm just like trying to focus and make sure that I'm getting there and whatever. I can't imagine being in front and knowing that like Mike Pentecost this past weekend, like he was racing in front, and he's now won it for I think 2 years in a row or a lot. But he won last year. Having that target in your back, knowing that everyone in your class trained to beat you this year. That I think that comes with a shit ton of time riding and a lot of experience needed to be able to like even come close to anything like that. I mean, that's why I'm like so like humbled about my first race. I know I've got a long journey ahead of me, but I'm just gonna make have a lot of fun in the whole journey.
No, definitely. I think if you I'd understand if you obviously have sponsors and you have to have like results and everything else, but if you're just doing it as a way to progress, then the best is obviously just to have fun at it and like not try obviously risk it too much, I guess. But yeah, no, it's definitely something for those guys to uphold something. Like if they make such a small mistake, then they just get absolutely ridiculed, or and then it must have like quite a big like mental impact on these people to try and keep positive through all of that.
Yeah.
Even Bam Bam as well. Like I think his times are like pretty decent. I think they like I think
Mm.
the last race that he did or something, it was he was running fourth in terms of time, but his
Yeah.
pacing was so far down, and just that is just like a huge mental game.
Yeah. But did you see like Dean Wilson? He actually posted someone sending him a DM where someone sent him a DM and said, "I hope you and your kid dies," because he just had a kid now, and someone sent him a comment like that on Instagram, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, on Instagram," and he reposted it. But I mean, imagine like all you're doing is racing a dirt bike, and then
Yeah,
someone wishes like you would die. I'm like that like the amount of like to deal with that, and they have to be on social media. I mean, Dino is. I'm not saying he's not a top three rider or whatever. He's a very fast rider, and he's definitely a top 10 or top 5 rider. But
mm.
like, he is the guy that needs to make content and need to make vlogs, and that Rockstar has him on a contract that he needs to produce content and stuff like that for them. So he needs to be on social media. What I'm actually getting on, and then having
Yeah.
to deal with that plus the pressure of racing. And then some guy calls you or whatever on the internet, and then you go and race, and you come 16th in the main. Like, okay, he does make the main, but then he comes 16th, and having to deal with all that mental stuff. That is on another
No,
level.
definitely. I think I don't know. I don't know if like these top oaks have maybe like a ban or they try to keep away from social media and stuff
Mm-hmm.
because there's the amount of like shit on there that then bring you down is astonishing. I think TikTok has more like this is probably off topic completely, but TikTok like busy scrolling through some of the stuff has more porn on it than actual Pornhub itself. Like there's half naked people. There's a guy
Yeah.
that's swinging his thing around. I'm just like, bro, I'm just here for bike videos. Now I'm seeing a tolly. Like, what's going on here?
Hey, dude, what are you watching?
Bro,
It's the
that's the
algorithm is showing
thing.
you
And then
that.
the worst is I was busy like going through this thing, and then my girlfriend's over my shoulder, and she's just like, she looks at this thing. She's like, and I was like, bro, I can't explain this thing. I'm not. These are not things that I want to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I
No.
don't know. Social media itself is something that you really need to like have a limit of how much you actually watch and not be influenced by whatever anyone says. Just to get over that itself is something I think quite like mentally strong if you could do that.
Yeah. No, and but my problem is at the moment, like my whole game is like trying to build that community on social media, and not being on there for me feels like at this point in time. Firstly, I'm like, okay, now I'm justifying my addiction. It's like the smoker saying it's good for like helps me calm down, but. Like I like to be on socials because I'm so invested in the other people's content and like observing how they do it and what they do and the people's content that I watch. I mean, I've like physically been obsessed with like Ken Block and his whole journey and how they've managed to like make it like going from a guy that took a standard Subaru driving around a dock lot fucking drifting the hell out of the thing to having Audi build you a one specific electronic car in the how many years that he's done it, that's quite an achievement.
Mm.
And like that all comes from social media marketing and being able to like market yourself from the DC days, like all the way through to now to his unfortunate passing. I mean, the amount of people, I still see people saying R.I.P. Ken Block, and that like
Mm.
it's yeah. So I mean that to have that impact. And yes, okay, he's also a phenomenal, talented driver. It would not have been as cool as if they built a unicorn and all he did was smash it around the corners,
Yeah,
and blitz him and crash it, everything. Like his precision driving is exceptional.
yeah.
But like getting to that and going from being a skateboarder, snowboarder to being able to do that, that's quite a thing. So I take my time and that on social media to, yes, okay, yes, you find a cool video of a guy whipping and you get this guy going flat out through here and that, but also to see how they market their social media and how they build their audiences and the consistency and like what are they looking for? Because I said to Wouter, I think today, I said, dude, like, you've never seen Ken Block do a reaction video. There's no of him going, what the fuck's going on here? I'm like, no. So he physically paved his own way. And yes, it's probably 70 times harder to do it that way. But I think there's something to learn from guys like that pave their own way. I'm not mentioning him. He's like the top case scenario. But I mean, like someone like Bucky Lassick, skateboarder, now rides. Okay, he's got a deal with Subaru and Vermont sports car, and they race here and there and whatever. But I mean, a guy like that also paving his own way, not doing the trends and stuff like that, and just like that's something there's something to learn there.
No, definitely. The process of trying to build, I think, something also like healthy is also to try to find like that fine balance. Because I mean, you can easily go into a thing of just posting like clickbaity things or like just focused on drama and people like cheating on each other and shit like that. Like there's so many easy ways to get noticed and stuff, but like it's pretty pointless in terms of everyone else's like well-being and stuff. So it's definitely nice to put in hard work and see what you've done and see that you've attracted the people that you wanted and like make changes. Like even I think a month ago some guy messaged me on Instagram saying that because he's been watching my videos, like he started riding bikes again. And he's bought a Yamaha FX and like he's starting to get into enduro. Like even that was, I'm like, wow, like I'm not like motivating people to do anything. I'm just showing them how much fun they can have. But it's quite nice to see.
But I think that to like the end of the whole thing is like what I was saying. I want to be 60-year-olds old and then go back on my YouTube channel and like, hey kids, you want to see your granddad come and ride a dirt bike? And they're like, this is me, like, look at me, this is me riding, and just having an archive for that footage. And if the consequence is building a cool community and actually being able to make money from it, and that, I think that would be phenomenal. The goal has never been to like, okay, yes, I want to monetize my channel just for the fact that I can monetize it, just because I can say that I've done that. And that's like a goal that I'm working towards, but I know it's not going to pay the bills. I'm not going to pay my rent at the end of this year with YouTube money. Hopefully, if it does happen, flipping hell, that would be insane. But the thing is, like that, I would take that money made from YouTube and just go like pay for a trip down to East London to come and ride. So that's what the end goal for YouTube would be. And I think to just have an archive of the cool shit that we've done. Because I mean, specifically, like, if I can think of my dad, if they had a YouTube channel and they're back in their day, like rallying and building cars and doing all that shit, I mean, that would be pretty sick. But we have the unique opportunity to be able to do that.
No, definitely, and obviously, like these videos aren't really going to go anywhere. And you can look back on some of the stuff. I mean, I have videos from when I started like making like YouTube videos. I think from like 12 or 13 years ago. They are so cringy, but they're so cool and funny because like just to see how much I've progressed and just like memories with friends that I don't ride with anymore. It's quite nice just to look back on all the stuff that you've made and it's quite something.
Definitely, dude. Well, to end it all off, dude, well, firstly, thanks for your time and thanks for spending like almost an hour, just over an hour now on the podcast and everything, having a lacquer chat about everything. And but dude, I can't wait to come and ride those trails. Like, I know I suck at enduro, but I'll make good content for you. I'll just give it a little whiskey throttle there or something.
That's fine.
I'll do it with my KTM, not my Kawasaki. Ian will tend to unfuel me if I try to.
Here in East London really like KTM, so it works out quite well.
Even better. I'll just be the obnoxious guy, like like the little kid revving his bike the whole time. Yeah, I'll be that guy.
It's right. No, but like, thank you so much for having me. I really do appreciate it.
No problem, dude.
Again, awesome. On my like bucket list, and it's quite something. We should definitely do something more. Maybe like a four-way podcast or something. With hopefully we can get some beers or brandies and stuff, because I have my beer here but I can't drink it.
You can go and enjoy it now. Yeah, like I'm not 100% sure what the whole Instagram thing will be about that. So
Yeah,
we can have it afterwards. But yeah, no, definitely, dude. We'll have more like this. I want to be more consistent on Instagram and be able to do these lives as easy because I don't need to be down in East London. You don't need to be here. We can just create an interconnect connection and go for it and ramble on about
yeah.
stuff and things. But yeah, but dude. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, now you can tick it off your bucket list.
Definitely done. Awesome.
Awesome, dude. But have a good one, and yeah, see you on the. Well, boy, before we go, shameless plug on your video that's going live, or now it should be live, right? Or is it?
Yeah, so it's live now already.
It's live now, yeah. So go to Matt. There should be a link in your bio to go and watch Matt's latest video that's up.
Go check out the chaos and stuff that's pursued.
There we go. That's it. Well, have a good one, dude.
Like you too.
Good. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers, Bye.